I don't know, Amy Allen, she was...
He probably has a connection to her.
No, she was a visual effects...
yeah, I know, but she also does, trust me, she does the conventions now.
Yeah, I know, lots of them. She was in 2 seconds of the movie altogether.
Hey, but you know, she was in 2 seconds of 1, 2, and 3, wasn't she?
2 and 3, yeah.
But she wasn't in 1?
No. She was, you saw her fighting in the arena in the second one. And you saw her getting killed in the third.
That was actually one of the parts that I thought was pretty well done. Was the little betrayal part, you know. That was when John Williams kind of pulled George Lucas's bacon out of the fire, saying, "Let me write some good music here."
That was definitely a good soundtrack.
Oh well, hey, he's one of the best.
Yeah.
You know. So now I've been talking. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, you know, is there anything you guys have wondered about?
Do they ever going to make a game from Rick? Or is it just only PlayStation 2 game?
What?
No, only for Transformers. We only made a PlayStation 2 game and that's it.
Yeah, Robots in Disguise?
No, nothing for PC.
Not as far as I know. I mean, I don't think anybody's really designed a good one yet, but chances are between the how good the video games have got. Just in case somebody wants something else. But I really, especially now, with any major movie like that, you have to have a tie-in. So chances are that they'll come out with a really good game, you know, when a movie comes out. You know, I think they've done others, but they just weren't well thought out. You know, at least Transformers fans are discriminating when it comes to the video games, because when they're bad, they don't buy them. There's no reason to. And they should. You know, that's like buying a Transformer that doesn't transform. Actually, man. I tried to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry. You know.
How did you get the role, and did you realize its significance?
Well, you know the answer to how I got the role, but thanks for asking the question. Because that is one of those interesting stories. Because I always knew the significance because, you know, I'm almost 40 years old, so you know, I was around when Transformers was around the first time. I never really got into the toys. I thought they were cool, but it's like I guess it was at the age where I wanted them to transform better. You know, if I was gonna get into them. You know, it's kind of like, for instance, when I was young, I never got into the Star Wars figures because their knees and their elbows didn't bend. What the hell is that? Like, no, man. I bought the Mego action figures like what happened. Kurt, you know, come up to Shazam and, you know, punch him across the face and then you put the Kurt hands together and then you know, you do all that, and that was fun. But, so I guess the Transformers never quite transformed the way I had hoped to. But I watched the cartoon, and I watched G.I. Joe, you know, and I mean, my thing was mostly like, you know, Super Friends. Don't ask me. But, you know, I was working a lot for Saban, or I was on their list of people. Unlike my understanding with Ocean Group in Canada, where basically they get a job and they call people and go, you're going to play this, you're going to play this, you're going to play this, you're going to play this. Like you call a temp agency and say, I need my office filled with people, and they assign everybody a job. In Hollywood, they actually make you audition. You know?
Right.
They want to know the idea. And, you know, maybe you'll get it, maybe somebody else will get it. So I got the call and came in, and I read for Slapper, Gascon, and X-Bron. And as is the case with me, you know, because I tend to think of myself as fairly versatile. You know, it's like, can I read for anybody else? You know, is there anything else I can read? Maybe this guy, maybe that guy? No, we're doing okay, we got these. Yeah, it's like, you know, if I have my way, give me all 15, let me read, and just whatever one sticks, that's what I want to play. You know, where you guys just decide, you know, later that these were good, so we're going to put you here. So I read for those, I was walking out of the booth, And in a recording studio, basically, I don't know if anybody knows, but there's the area where the artist is, and it's behind glass, you get your mic, and you usually have a TV so you can see what you're working on, or they can show you sketches, or you can bring something up on the computer.
That's the way it is these days.
And then on the other side of the glass is the controls, where the director is, and the engineer, where they'll press the button when they want to talk to you, and then they'll take their finger off the button. And then you're on the other side of the glass going, they're really they're enthusiastic about what I'm doing. They're saying, yeah, I love it. Instead of going, oh, you're wasting my fucking time. So when I'm walking out, I look in the control booth, and they've got video from the show. At this point, I don't know whether they were showing car robots or whether they were showing the original. But it's Optimus Prime up on the screen, and I hear the voice in my own head. Well, I can do that, because
And you knew what he sounded like.
I remembered a little bit. But basically, when I did this sort of a thing, it was based on a character actor by the name of Eddie Parker, who was in a lot of American films. He's usually playing a New Yorker. He was in a movie called Fame. Played Bruno's father. So this was basically what I did for, Eddie Parker. And of course, if you listen to it and tweak it just a little bit, it tends to sound a little bit like Harvey Biased. Right. Who, of course, is a somewhat interesting guy. Okay, this just was scary. So anyway, so I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I can do that, and I actually poked my head in, and I said, guys, can I read for that? No, Neil, that's okay. We've got you out enough. We're fine. Well, I got a call a couple weeks later from the producer of the show who said, just kind of wondering, the producers listened to what you did for the audition. I auditioned for X-Braun. X-Braun was supposed to be a Southern SUV. So naturally, you got to put on a Southern dialect, and if he's an SUV, he's going to be tougher. Well, this isn't exactly tough, so if you're going to make an SUV, it's got to be something like this. Well, he's got to be Southern, and he's got to be tough, he's got to be beat up, he's got to be running over the rocks and stuff like that. So, hey man, my name's X-Braun. That was my audition for X-Braun. Well, one of the producers listened to that and went, So they basically said, can you do that without the Southern dialect? They'd like you to play Optimus Prime on the premiere episode, but, they're thinking about you for Optimus Prime, but because it's so close to the premiere, we don't have time to audition. So they want to record the premiere episode, and if it works, you've got the job, and if it doesn't, well, we'll figure it out from there. So I went ahead and went in and recorded it, and that's why I didn't tell anybody or say anything until after September 8th, until after the first episode played on American TV, because it was like, okay, I guess I got the job.